Jordan Peele openly discriminates against whites, says he won't cast whites in lead roles. This gained Jordan a lot of criticism for his racist statements. And of course, criticism of his anti-white sentiments is being projected as anti-black sentiments from his critics. Now, here's the little trick his defenders are using. They are creating what's called a Motte and Bailey argument. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Motte and Bailey argument is, it's basically a bait and switch between a Motte, an easy-to-defend and often common-sense statement, and a Bailey, a hard-to-defend and more controversial statement. In this case, the Motte is, I want all black leads in my films, whereas the Bailey is, I don't want any white people leading in my films. But Jordan didn't say this. He didn't say, I want all black people as leads in my films. He said he didn't want white people leading in his films. Now, the thing is, there's nothing inherently wrong with having all black leads in your film. I don't care whatever race you want to make the leads in your film. When you conceive of a character, you can only make that character typically one race, or they can be multiracial. I'll add that little qualifier. But the fact of the matter is, you're excluding every other race when you're creating that character. So you can't really call it racial discrimination. It's not possible for the character to be all races at once. The problem comes when you say that your character can be any race except for one. If your character can be any race, it's clearly discriminatory if you are excluding one race. This is where all the backlash is coming from. It's not that Jordan put the pen to the paper and said, I want to make a film with all black leads. It's that he put the pen to the paper and said, I don't want any white people to lead in my movie. Now, this tells people that his artistic endeavors are not stemming from a desire to create meaningful art. They are coming from a place of spite. They are coming from a place of anti-white resentment. This is why Jordan Peele is getting so much flack. It's not that he's casting black people as the leads in his films. It's that people are responding to the deliberate racist provocations he's leveling against white people. There was no reason that he had to add the qualifier that no white leads would be in his movies. Jordan states, I don't see myself casting a white dude as the lead in my movie, adding, not that I don't like white dudes, but I've seen that movie. What does that mean, I've seen that movie before? Is he saying that all movies led by white people are the same? Is he saying all white people look the same? They all act the same? It doesn't mean anything. It's a deliberately vague statement left open so that if anyone comes down on him, they can say, well, you're just misinterpreting what I'm saying. It's meant to provoke a reaction from white people so that they can get their jabs in and say, look at all these white people getting angry that he's casting black people as leads in his movies. Listen, people, when you criticize Jordan Peele's actions, you have to frame it in the context of the Motte and Bailey argument to make people understand. A lot of people, especially progressives, have this entrenched notion in their head that if you're deliberately exclusionary of white people, that is somehow progressive. This is the key flaw in the progressive mindset that Jordan Peele is manifesting. It's the conflation of excluding white people with being inclusive of black people. Funny enough, this sentiment is pretty racist towards black people in and of itself. It's basically claiming that they are incapable of competing with white people for leads in films. The only way for them to gain these leads is for white people to be barred from them entirely.